And this is where the sermon gets uncomfortable for me in another way. Because it is one thing to believe God loves the person in the basket. Sometimes it is much harder to believe God can use the person looking back at us from the mirror. I've always found a lot of Peter in myself. Peter is blustery. He speaks before he thinks. Peter sees Jesus walking on the water and says essentially, if that's really you, tell me to come out there. And then, amazingly, he does. Peter gets out of the boat. He walks, and then he looks around. He notices the wind. He notices the waves. And fear begins telling him what is impossible. And he starts to think. Honestly, I understand Peter. For years, I struggled with my own call to ministry. There was a part of me that kept waiting for someone to walk into my office one day and say, you don't belong here. You aren't qualified for this. You aren't the person God should be using. Honestly, it took me until I was 45 years old to feel the Spirit of God telling me that my pastoral call to ministry and the well of wisdom within me was from God and not mankind. I think that may be what happens to Peter in today's gospel reading from Matthew. Jesus asks Peter, or asks the disciples, who do people say that I am? Peter has heard all the opinions, John the Baptist, Elijah, Jeremiah, one of the prophets. And then Jesus asks the question that matters, but who do you say that I am? And Peter answers, you're the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And Jesus tells him, Peter, you did not get there simply because someone else gave you the right answer. Something has happened within you. You have seen, you have discerned. Grace has been at work in you. And then Jesus looks at this impulsive, inconsistent, occasionally brilliant, frequently confused disciple and says, upon this rock I will build my church, Peter. The same Peter who will sink, the same Peter who will misunderstand, the same Peter who will later deny that he even knows Jesus. That Peter. Jesus knows all of it and still says, I can build with you.